All right, so we're going to do a little buy, sell, hold today. We got Chev. We got Rick. We've talked about the QB landscape a little bit. Now let's check about the price tag of these guys. We went on and on about Sam Darnold and how we feel about him. I'm interested to see, Chev, where you stand on what the price tag would be for a guy like Sam Darnold, for you personally, to either buy or sell. And we have some ADP here from the FFD ADP of some startup drafts. We got 8 startup drafts here from the month of February with the rookies integrated in. Sam Darnold currently going at 901. Some other quarterbacks around him, not really anybody. So Shedeur's a few rounds ahead of him. I think you would safely say that you're taking Shedeur there.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about on the previous episode. If Shedeur goes with that top 3 draft capital, then yeah, I have to take Shedeur ahead of Sam Darnold. Now, are we assuming Sam Darnold is still on the Minnesota Vikings?
We're going to assume Sam Darnold has gone to another team in free agency. I don't know.
All right, hold on. Can I get a caveat here? Can I get some clarification on a rule set here? Is it 3 years on the Browns, or are we talking like he's gone to the Giants to you gotta bet on just Sam Darnold, the player, and what's going to happen, because we're not really sure yet. So that now's the time where you could make some money or lose some money, right? Okay.
And of course, we're talking Superflex, because nobody cares about a quarterback and one quarterback. Sam Darnold's irrelevant in one quarterback. Two quarterbacks, Sam Darnold. I'm still very interested in him. If we go over to Dynasty Daddy, we could see some trades over here. 2 quarterbacks, start 10, half PPR. Sam Darnold or Calvin Ridley?
I got to take Sam Darnold there, especially in Superflex. Yeah, Calvin Ridley doesn't have a quarterback, and he's 31.
Rick?
Yeah, agreed. If Sam Darnold was his quarterback, I would take Sam Darnold instead of Calvin Ridley.
All right. How about Sam Darnold and the 205 and the 210 Superflex tight end premium? 12 team.
Wait. What? Wait, for what? You say 205 and 210
and 210 or Sam Darnold. You guys are in luck, because I got some ADP FFD ADP.
Please hit us with the ADPs.
So 205 right now, tight end premium, Superflex. Harold Fannin is right there at 205. Dylan Sampson's at 206. Jackson Dart's at 207. The 211, Alec Ayamaner, got Isaiah Bond in there. Jalen Milroe, which I hate that. That's not even real. Potentially Ollie Gordon, Cam Scatterbo. So that's kind of your range there.
Given the Superflex context, I would take Sam in that. I think in a regular dynasty, obviously I would take the picks in this class. I'm an odd believer in Sampson, and Justin has brought me back around on Gordon. And that's a strong range. Those picks will be worth a lot more than they usually are this year. That's tough, but yeah, I would go Sam Darnold there.
Yeah, I think
I'm taking the picks.
You're taking the picks?
Yeah,
I think I want Sam Darnold. Obviously, I'm not playing it with a landing spot here. That could be really good or really bad. I think I'm taking Sam Darnold. I have some confidence in him. So I think 2-2s. I'm taking Sam Darnold in that regard. How about this one's Sam Darnold or Brandon Ayuk?
Oh wow.
I'm taking Ayuk.
Oh shit.
Do we know if Ayuk's ACL is healthy?
We're going to presume that he's all right.
Yeah. I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm going Ayuk.
I'll go Sam. Ayuk's best year was on the back of some crazy efficiency. That he's an efficient receiver, but that year was like 17.8 yards per catch, if I remember correctly. And his career average is closer to like 14.5, which is still crazy high. But it's not over 17.5. So you can't predict the rest of his career to be on the outlier season. So I think that I would be Sam Darnold there.
How about Sam Darnold or Anthony Richardson?
Sam Darnold, easily.
Ooh.
Like, period, end of sentence.
The correct answer is Sam Darnold. I don't love it because we got into a Casey last episode about what kind of professional Anthony Richardson wants to be. And that scares me. That scares me in a way that makes me very uncomfortable. So yeah, I would have to go Sam Darnold here.
I'm taking Anthony Richardson. All right.
No. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Ooh.
No, we can't just speed. We can't just hit the accelerator and go right past Sam.
You just hope he doesn't run out of breath, or what?
Here's how I look at it. Sam Darnold is found money right now for me. If I'm this is an existing league and I'm trading him for Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson has done something in some starts where it's holy shit, that's ridiculous, and the upside is crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, look, if that's my second QB and I have to depend on him, then I probably need to stick with Sam Darnold for the most part. But if this is like my third QB where I'm battling in here and I can make some move, like I'm taking the huge upside swing on Anthony Richardson and hoping, and I know Rick, you weren't privy to the conversation, but I'm hoping that this iteration of Anthony Richardson, he's coming into the building and taking it seriously, because we know that at this point has been an issue. And so hopefully that's a wake-up call and you come in and you say, hey, I'm going to take this serious. I'm going to put in extra time, put in extra reps. I'm going to go to the Jaden Daniels route of preparation here. I don't want to be this guy who's out of the league. I have some tools. I could be right here. So I'm still taking the swing on Anthony Richardson here for me.
Well, my only pushback on that is historically, quarterbacks don't get significantly more accurate. Like the one quarterback to buck that trend is Josh Allen. And now every offensive coordinator thinks they can make a Josh Allen type change with a quarterback who is not accurate. You look at his completion percentage in college, it's about 50%. Look at his completion percentage in the pros, it's about 50%. And I think that his plays that make your jaw drop is what's going to keep his career going in the NFL, because he's capable of things that maybe no other quarterback in the NFL can do, like 65 yards from his back foot in the air, but like on a dime, but not being able to throw a check down for, the majority of the game is complete. I can't.
Right. But that, to me, that's like, dude, there's absolutely no way a guy with those kind of tools can't come in, put the work in, and figure out how to just hit at a higher clip from the short and the medium routes. That just, I can't comprehend in my brain. That's just the same argument that people make because a running back didn't catch footballs and in college, that he can't catch footballs. Like, you think this supremely gifted athlete can't somehow because that's not what, like, I just feel like if he wants to put the work, that's really the big caveat here. And I don't know if he can. And that's why he is where he is right now. Because I think if he was putting in the work, we would have seen a really, like, I've seen him take drives down the field and win ball games. I've seen him have really good, consistent chunks of games. There's just the wild inconsistency that you go, holy shit, what's going on here? And it actually kind of makes me feel a little bit better that, oh, he's fucking around. Like, at least it's not like, oh, he's trying hard as hell and he still sucks. So gives me a glimmer of hope here to say that I'm going to take all of the bad with the good of Anthony Richardson for this particular.
I mean, I have never taken the stance that it's a character issue with Anthony Richardson, but that sounds like what y'all have had a conversation about before. So which do you think is harder to correct, a character issue or an accuracy issue? Because I would argue a character issue is much harder.
I think they're the same. I think you got to clean up the character issue and practice and have the want to in there. And, I didn't think that was an issue with Anthony Richardson. That was part of the thing that I really liked about him. But then you come out at the end of the season and they're having meetings and he's not doing shit and he doesn't care. And players are pulling him aside going, what are you doing? We need you to be more of a leader. We need you to be more professional. We need you to be taking extra reps. And if he's not doing any of that, those things are hand in hand with for me. That's just, I think I'm better than everybody else and I'm leaning on my God-given ability. And I think this shit, at some point he said the NFL is easier than college. Like, I mean, what are we doing? So, I think you're right. I mean, but hopefully my idea here is that he saw what it was and he's like, I'm going to change some shit or I'm not going to be playing in the league or I'm going to be at another stop here real soon. So
I'm with you. I hope he fixes it, because if he takes that Josh Allen, that Jalen Hurts, that kind of Justin Fields leap that he took when he got DJ Moore, if he makes that leap, that's going to be awesome just for the game of football and for fantasy. Like seeing him do Cam Newton things with 60+% accuracy throwing the ball would be really fun to watch. I hope it happens.
Yeah. Chev, you got anything else on Sammy D or this trade?
I would. So I'm hoping that it works out. I'm a Florida Gators fan. I've been a Gator fan since I was 9 years old. So my process initially led me to not be in on Anthony Richardson. One, because he could never win the job outright. Then when he started, it was 50% completion percentage. And then there was obviously a lot of development that needs to happen. That has not – it appears that hasn't taken place. All the tools are there. There's no question about that. So I really want to see what it looks like going into OTAs. And I'm going to make my decision on where I am with Anthony Richardson based on what I hear from like OTAs and minicamp and stuff. I'm on the Sam Darnold side just because it's either, hey, if you give him some protection, he's going to be okay. If not, he's going to be, if not, he's going to see ghosts. He's going to shit the bed. But with Anthony Richardson, it's too wild. And that's the level of variance that I don't like to play the game with.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I'll take a little more risk at that position for what could be. But like I said, if the situation is I need the QB2 to be the guy and I feel comfortable and I need him to start every week, then I'm taking Sam. Right.
Definitely like that point. Yeah. Situation dictates.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Justin Fields here. Currently 1209 Superflex tight end premium ADP in FFD ADP. That's right next to Geno Smith. Geno Smith or Justin Fields, Rick?
In the situation where I have Geno as my third quarterback, actually, no, kind of your argument against Anthony Richardson is the argument I would make for Justin Fields, but more so. We have seen Justin Fields be a more accurate passer than Anthony Richardson and also break the game of fantasy football on the ground with his legs. The upside of Justin Fields is what we hope Anthony Richardson could ascend to. After Eberflus took the reins off and said, okay, run when you want to. During that field of games, I think it was 4 through 13, if I'm not mistaken, he pays his quarterback 1 on the season. Like, given the chance to do that and just go and be an athletic quarterback in a good system, I love Justin Fields. But the big hairy butt here is, I mean, he's not a starter on a team. I don't care how good he can be if he's not actually taking snaps on the NFL field. So until he lands with the team and actually, and I don't think you can make that bet in Dynasty, like, well, I'm going to trade away an actual piece that is going to be very serviceable for me multiple weeks of the season because of bye weeks and injuries for the hope that Justin Fields maybe lands on a team and maybe becomes relevant again. I think if he lands with any team as possibly a starter, I'd be willing to make that bet if Geno Smith is my third quarterback on the team.
Chev, Geno or Fields?
Oh, Justin Fields. Yeah. Justin Fields. I wasn't kidding.
Value-wise, it's Fields pretty easy. And then, let's what do you got? Sorry.
Everything Rick said. Plus, I think that if he gets 16 or 17 games to get into a system, if it's a quarterback-friendly system where you're talking about a top 5, top 8 at worst quarterback. I mean, he gave you 5 rushing touchdowns last year for the Steelers in 6 games. Like, that rushing upside is near, like, it's up there with the best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, and he was being used as the goal line back in Pittsburgh. So he could go somewhere and have a poor man's Cam Newton type season where he throws for 3,500 yards and 25 touchdowns, then gives you another 10 to 12 touchdowns on the ground, and you're looking at a top 6 option. Whereas Geno, we're going to have to get 4,030 for him to crack the top 12. So for me, it's pretty easy. I think that, with Justin Fields being 26 years old going into this season, I would have to go with the youth and the rushing upside for Justin Fields. I mean, it's a slam dunk for me.
All right. How about Justin Fields or Daniel Jones, Will Levis, and a 4th round pick? So spreading it around and a late pick or Justin Fields. This is a Dynasty Daddy trade that happened a day ago.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now too. Yeah,
I'm taking Fields.
Yeah, that's Fields. I mean, everything I said about Justin Fields, like you're just hoping to get that type of outcome from Daniel Jones. Will Levis is the eternal meme father, and the 405. While this class is super deep, you're going to be able to get probably a decent running back at the 405 that slips, especially after the combine. Some of these guys run like 4.6s and stuff. I'd still rather have Justin Fields for the fact that he's 26 years old, and I believe he's going to be a starter again.
Yeah. Rick?
3 for 3, Justin Fields.
Sweep it.
All right. How about Fields or the 204? And the 204, again, for reference here, FFD ADP Superflex tight end premium 204 is Ollie Gordon.
Is that Trey Harris?
Devin Neal. Trey Harris is 202. Fanning 205. Sampson. So that kind of same area on one of the trades for Darnold. Devin Neal, Ollie Gordon, Fanning, Trey Harris, Sampson, Jackson Dart kind of area. I think I'm taking the pick there.
I had the 202 as my line for Justin Fields. So, yeah, I would take the 204.
Yeah, sweep it. I mean, the opportunity to get the professional on my team, Rick, the professional will be known as Devin Neal. The professionals, okay. Devin Neal and Emeka Ibuka. Like, okay. Give me Devin Neal. Give me the pick.
All right. So how about this is Justin Fields, Jonathan Brooks, and the 208 Superflex tight end premium 12-man.
So the trade is Jonathan Brooks and the 208 for Justin Fields?
Correct.
What's the value of Jonathan Brooks standalone right now?
It's late. I'll find
Not great, Bob.
Like not just ADP, but like
1309 right now for Jonathan Brooks in a startup. So that's like,
but just
Tank Dell, Deebo Samuel, DJ Giddens would be a rookie around his area. Hollywood Brown, Juwan Jennings, Pat Freiermuth.
Golly. So basically the trade is for the 208.
The 208, and if you have, you're kind of getting the throw in a Brooks of like this. I mean, he could bounce back. He had a lot of value last year, but doesn't seem like you're getting a whole lot of value out of Brooks here for this Field trade.
Yeah, I think I would take, you said 208 was.
208 is Sampson's 6, Dart's 7, Matthew Golden's 8, Milrose 9, but I don't believe it. That's trash. Bond, Scatabo.
Yeah, I'll take Justin Fields in that event.
Yeah, I will. I'll take Justin Fields as well, but it's close.
Yeah, that one gave me some pause. I had to think about that for a second. All right, how about Fields or Tony Pollard? And it's got a 404 attached to it.
Justin.
Are you calling on Justin or are you saying Justin Fields?
No, I'm telling Justin to go first.
Oh, God, I do. So that's not fair because Rick knows how much I love Tony Pollard. Like, I used to watch Tony Pollard play Pee Wee football. Like,
So here, I'll jump in for a second here.
Go ahead.
Obviously, you're making trades. We're reading them off of here. I think if you apply context to this trade, if you're a team that's competitive right now, it's hard to turn down Tony Pollard and be able to plug him into your lineup and know that you can plug him into your lineup. I mean, Tony Pollard was a 15-point-a-game guy for most of last year. Like, underrated as what he did for the Titans last year, right? Was super productive and a great flex play if you needed him, or even RB2 if you were light in the running back category, right? Now, I don't know how that changes. I don't know, does Spears get a little bit more involved? I don't know if they're going to change anything as far as fundamentally how they're splitting things up or whatever. I know, both were kind of injured throughout parts of the season. So I think I lean to the Pollard side if I'm really competitive. But to me, Fields is like one of the most fun buys that you could possibly make right now. The crazy thing is like this value for Fields is kind of all over the place. If I'm a mediocre to shitty team, I'll take the shot on Justin Fields in that trade all day long.
It makes the most sense at that point to do that because Tony Pollard's not going to help put you over the top, whereas Justin Fields could come in if he gets a starter's job. you've got a top 12 quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, and then now you can then flip him for, more capital to a true contender. Like you can go get picks, trade into the first round and acquire more capital. Yeah. If in that scenario, yes, it makes a lot of sense. If I'm a contender, give me Tony Pollard. If I am looking to rebuild and just kind of have some assets that I could potentially cash in on, like, a little scratch off lottery ticket action. Yeah, I would take Justin Fields.
Rick?
I would take Justin Fields in both scenarios. Chances are good that wherever he goes is going to be kind of a 1-year prove it deal. I think Justin Fields is good enough to get a multi-year contract if given decent enough weapons and opportunity. So I think this is both a play for a contender and a team that is a bottom dweller that needs a building piece. Like if you can go and get Justin Fields for a late second or multiple thirds, something along those lines, I don't see why you don't do that. Because like you are hoping beyond hope that your third round pick or this year and next year third round pick, one of them touches what Justin Fields' potential is. So I'd be Justin Fields in both those scenarios.
All right. So we kind of covered the QB landscape in the first video of who could be where and what teams could need a rookie or need the veteran or whatever. But let's end this version of this part of the show with saying, let's say Daniel Jones, let's say Mac Jones, Rudolph, Lance, Joe Milton, maybe just some of these guys who are sort of backup-ish role players right now, could fill a gap, can come in, start some games for you. Who are you the most interested in trading for? Because, when you're playing Superflex, to be able to collect those guys as throw-ins and cheap parts of deals, I always am down to do that because you just, I think a lot of people are ready to turn the page really fast. And I think we're seeing a little bit more and more than ever that we're seeing retreads put into a good situation and have some success. So are there any of those kind of quarterbacks right now that you guys would be like, would you trade 2/3 for Daniel Jones right now?
I would not. I wouldn't do it. Like I said, there is a history of quarterbacks with high draft capital going to quarterback whisperers and then having great seasons. But I don't have that kind of faith in Daniel Jones. That I just don't. Like, just specifically him. I stand Daniel Jones just enough. Then, all that happened. But we don't have to talk about that. I honestly feel sorry for that guy. I feel like a version of Sam Darnold's situation happened to him, where it's like you were given one of the worst situations possible and told to make the best of it. And when you didn't, you got shit on hard. And, I think a lot has been made about the lack of Justin Fields' development as, 1 and 2 year guy in the league. I think you could very easily make that same exact argument for Daniel Jones. So at this point in his career, I don't think that he gets monumentally better. So no, I'd rather take my whatever they are 20% hit odds on my third round pick.
Oh, there's a guy in the third though.
What'd you think, Chev?
That's the thing, especially in this draft, I'm willing to take 2 third-round shots instead of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, we're in it right now, so it's everyone's salivating for, or at least most people are salivating for these third rounders right now. What do you think, Chev? 2/3?
No,
Daniel Jones?
No, sir. Not even if there's a fire. Not even my balls were on fire, and Daniel Jones was standing there with a pitcher of water, like, bro, I'll put him out. Just give him the 2/3.
What if it was like 311 and 312?
Now you said that, and right now in the FFD ADP, RJ Harvey's available around that 311.
That ain't gonna keep going though.
You're right.
I feel you.
But for right now, I'm bricked up in the cement aisle about a few running backs, and RJ Harvey's one of them. So no, sure. I'd keep that 311.
How low does that pick have to be? Do those picks have to be back to back for you to say yes? Is it?
I'll trade Daniel Jones for the 311 and 312.
That's yeah. So you're on the pick side as well.
No. Sorry, I'll take Daniel Jones in that scenario.
Okay. So so alternate question. So for you, how high would it have to be for you to accept the picks? Is it
I would if I was
3.738?
accepting that trade, I would want to move 1 to 26. So I'd want to do a 25 and a 26. I'd want to like space those 2 picks out or whatever. You know what I mean? If I was making that trade. But yeah, back end of the third, I would trade two thirds for Daniel Jones. I think he'll get another opportunity somewhere. I hopefully he stays in Minnesota and then he goes somewhere and gets a chance. Fantasy wise, he can put up some points. You know, Justin Fields, when he starts, he puts up points. I'm not gonna say when Daniel Jones starts, he puts up points, but we know there's some legs there, and that can be good for fantasy. So I think if he could get into a decent situation, you know, he might have a little resurrection. We never know, but I'll take a swing. How about a guy like Trey Lance? Would you spend a 4th round pick and some throw-in guy for Trey Lance right now? Or because really we've never really seen Trey Lance get a shot anywhere for a long period of time, and we know there's some legs. So any interest in a move that would acquire Trey Lance in any way, shape, or form?
I think there's a reason 2 teams have seen Trey Lance and not let us see Trey Lance.
I can't disagree.
I mean, a 4th, sure. I'll take a 4th on the chance that, I mean, if Cooper Rush can beat you out of a starting job, then what are we doing?
So I was in the same ball game, but fucking Cooper Rush played pretty damn good down the stretch.
All right,
the first couple games, I'm like, yo, how are you not playing Lance right now? And then by the end, it was like, he won some games. He was all right. Like, I mean, he's played pretty well for the Cowboys in Lance's defense.
Cooper Rush has a better win percentage for the Cowboys than Dak Prescott does. Yeah. It's a wild stat.
And you got outplayed by Brock Purdy on the other scenario. So it's 2 scenarios where the optics don't look great, but there is at least an explanation of saying why you didn't get on the field.
Well, he got outplayed because Brock is a much better quarterback. That's why.
Sure, but you know.
Given the cost, hold on a second. I got 2 sentences. Given the cost of a 4th round pick, not a throw-in player, if I was to trade a 4th round pick for Trey Lance and a Superflex, sure, I would do that deal. But I'm not like, what's your definition of a throw-in player?
Keaton Mitchell.
Oh, sure. That's very willing to do that. That's easy. That's easy money.
In a super flex, I think that the correct process would always be to bet on a mobile quarterback with legs. I think that's the correct play there. I wouldn't love it. I wouldn't be like, "Ooh, I just got me a share of Trey Lance," but like, it's the correct thing to do. So I would be okay with it.
How about taking another swing on Jameis? Because we know, just kind of like Fields, but in a different way. If he's on the field, he's going to produce fantasy points and elevate your fantasy players. So what's a range of trade scenarios that you would want, you know, Jameis Winston on your team? Is that a 3rd round pick, Rick? You said
Jameis and Justin has started twitching. I think that we're both. If Jameis is able to start anywhere, like if he is able to sign up, if he is the bridge quarterback that goes to the New York Jets, if he can go to the Titans, like if he can go somewhere where he is the starter, I'm willing to trade up to a 2nd round pick for him. And I know that's an overpay. I don't think that's the right price, but that's what I'm willing to pay personally. Not only for the production that you get from the quarterback position or your super flex position, but just for the post-game interviews. Like, I might not win my fantasy football dynasty league, but I will have the most fun by far.
I have Jameis on so many rosters because just out of nowhere, if he's the starter, it's like defensive coordinators forget, like, hey, man, all we got to do is like take away his first read and he's going to throw it to him no matter what. So we just got to have a guy standing there when he throws it. So for like 3 or 4 weeks, and that could come at the most opportune time for my fantasy team. Like, I need that on my roster because you're going to get a QB4 week or a QB5 week, or the Denver Broncos, what was that, week 13, where he threw for 500 yards or 400 yards? What was it?
It was like 620 total yards, just 120 was to the other team.
Yeah. So, look, if I can get that on my for a third, I would do that. I would forego my beloved Brashard Smith.
How dare you?
On my roster.
Wow.
Sacrilege.
I would.
All right. So here we Dynasty Daddy. A day ago, you got Jameis Winston for a 305. 2 days ago, you have Jameis Winston for a 301. 3 days ago, you have Jameis Winston for a 301. Jameis Winston 6 days ago for a 212. So there you go. We got Jameis Winston for 411, 412, and a 26-3. Jameis Winston and 412 for Mac Jones.
Wow.
I think you guys seem like you would be in on all of those trades on the Jameis side.
The only one that kind of makes me pause is the Mac Jones trade.
Mac Jones is going to be a starter again somewhere.
Yeah. But
I didn't even bring Mac Jones up because I thought both of you guys were going to laugh me out of the fucking building and really be mad about it. But I'm so here for this conversation. All right, go ahead.
Listen, I'm a Pats fan, so I watched a lot of Mac Jones. And I also had a lot of Brian Thomas Jr. in my dynasty drafts because I was picking very early in some of them. But we want to talk about that. But so I paid a lot of attention to Mac Jones last year, and I think that he provides more long-term stability for a fantasy lineup. He's like Geno light, in my opinion, depending on the landing spot, but he doesn't have any kind of the ceiling that Jameis does. So, it'd be kind of situation dependent. If I could get Mac Jones for Jameis, I don't think that I would do that. I think I would do the reverse because I want peak outcomes. I don't want a dude who's going to be able to come in and provide 14 to 17 points consistently. I want a guy who may be able to put up 35 points.
Yeah, a guy like Anthony Richardson.
Well, it depends on if he's completing 36% of his passes in the second half of the season or not. But okay, you threw me off with that one. Got me. Well, there's more of a history of Jameis Winston being relevant for fantasy than Anthony Richardson. So
fair enough.
I mean, but it doesn't matter if he can't start. So it's going to be entirely situation dependent whether it actually works out for you. But I would rather take the shot on Jameis than Mac. It was Mac in a fourth.
Mac in a fourth for Jameis.
Yeah, Mac in a fourth for Jameis because Mac is most likely not in your top 2. He might not be in your top 3 on a Superflex team. I would make that trade for Jameis.
Chef, take us home here.
I like Mac Jones. I think that the situation in New England at the end of Bill Belichick's tenure was just untenable. It's unfortunate that he had to be the guy to follow Tommy. So, he was kind of set up. He was kind of set up to fail. I was pulling up his stats. That's why I was looking down for a second. I was pulling up his stats, filling in for Trevor Lawrence at the end of the year. We got 2 QB1 performances. He's 235-2 against the Texans. And then he goes against the Jets, who everybody lit up the Jets towards the end of the year, 294-2, and then another 174-2 in week 17 against Tennessee. I think that he's going to be one of those reclamation projects or reclamation, however you want to say it. He's going to be one of those guys. I think he's going to end up probably going to San Francisco or going to the Rams or, ended up somewhere, just somewhere nebulous where it's like, oh, I didn't know Mac Jones was there. And then he'll pop back out, 29, 30 years old. Somebody will get hurt. He'll play really well. Everybody will be surprised. Then he'll get like one of the bridge quarterback deals and he'll be relevant for fantasy. I think that's the path that he's going to go down. But I think he's going to be a starter again. I mean, he's older already, so we're still working on his rookie deal, and he's 27 already. So it's not like we have a lot of time. So I think that he played well enough this year to earn him the latitude to go somewhere and sit and potentially compete again. He represented himself really well.
Yeah. We've just never really seen him in any sort of plus situation, right? He came in for the Jacksonville Jaguars and they were limping into the finish after Trevor left. Patriots offensively after Tom were not great, right? Everything, it was a little bit of a mess up there in New England. So we've just seen him in 2 situations. There's been some bad Mac Jones and there's been some good Mac Jones. I think if he can get into a plus situation and rebuild himself a little bit, again, every time I've watched him play, I'm like, there's something there. Like he's not awful and he's not as bad as everybody makes him out to be. I think that happens very quickly with quarterbacks.
Fourth most passing yards in the season for a rookie. He's at 3,800 yards as a rookie. So there's something. There's something.
Yeah. No, I like it. Any final thoughts, Rick, before we sign off here?
Odd statistic here. Mac Jones is 1 year younger than Sam Darnold.
All right. Let's go. Chev, anything?
No, man. I just out here trying to keep my kids from eating yellow snow and keep people from eating yellow snow by trading for Daniel Jones.
All right. Chef, tell us where we can find you, your pod and Twitter handles and all that stuff before we get out of here.
Yeah, man. We are Two Guys, One Pod. We're on Spotify, available on all podcast platforms. I am also I'm at Chev90 on X, Two Guys, One Pod FF on all on all social media platforms. Also co-host the Dynasty Pulse over on Fantasy Sports Advice Network. And you can read shit that I wrote on Player Profiler. And sometimes I tweet stuff for them too. So you'll know it's me when you see it.
Rick, you wanna take a swing?
Well, he already mentioned our show socials on Twitter. I'm Ricky J 2013. Yeah, thanks for having us, man. Really appreciate it. It's been a good time. Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys, and we'll get plenty more of Rick and Chev through the FFD here. You can check us out on the Discord. We got a free Discord. We got a Patreon, $5 a month. You get extra content over there. There's a $10 a month tier as well. You get a roster review and all the extra content as well. We're doing tons of mock drafts. We got ADP that we referenced here. We'll have monthly ADP for your pleasure. We have mock drafts that all those people in there are doing and get first crack at. Of course, we got mock draft Mondays coming your way. We do live mock drafts on the YouTubes. 5-star review if you're listening on the pod. You can enter in a contest in the description there and win yourself a free FFD t-shirt for giving 5-star reviews. Lots of great stuff coming your way, so keep it locked and loaded with the FFD. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, I don't know what you're doing. Appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.